Welcome to the Through the Table podcast with Tom, Rick, Russ, JL, and Brian.
Welcome back to part 3 of Through the Table podcast number 19.
So we can keep a couple other WWE subjects I had here was expecting Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar to feud at least to WrestleMania, if not SummerSlam of next year.
How would you even do that?
I don't know. You tell me.
You know what that means?
Paul Heyman's gonna work his ass
That's
off.
probably what that means is no Rock. Exactly.
No Rock for Mania.
And with who they sent over there, except for Drew McIntyre, there is nobody else for Roman to work with.
No
one.
Not a person.
That's horrible men's roster.
I would say, what did I say? Kofi and maybe Nakamura might
get
eaten up at a pay-per-view.
Right. Like Kofi maybe for a little bit, but Nakamura is just like a one-shot deal and that's it.
Right.
Kind of like when Lesnar was rolling through people, you know?
Terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard SummerSlam. I'm like, Mania is bad enough. SummerSlam? You have no plans what to do there.
Well, everybody remembers the Macho Man Hogan plan. So they were like, let's do a Hogan Macho Man.
Well, they'll kill Roman's character off by this point. If they do that, God.
Although I do have to say, last Friday, like I went back and watched it after we recorded the Paul Heyman segment. He's absolutely amazing. I don't care what anyone says, that he's literally the only good thing on. Then again, it is the Roman Reigns storyline.
Yeah,
but it was like last week. Friggin', he's all crying, like just blubbering, just eyes redder than just. It was as stupid as it was. It was amazing. It was literally the only bright spot on SmackDown is Heyman.
Yep.
And the whole thing.
They said something on there that there was 12 minutes of actual wrestling action on SmackDown last week in the 2-hour show.
That's absolutely nuts to me.
And they said AEW had like 28 minutes in the first hour alone.
I would absolutely. I mean, I've only been to one Raw, and that's why I've never gone back, because it was like, during commercials, it's if there's nothing in the ring, they just turn the lights off in the friggin'
in
the thing, and you just sit there until the commercials are over, and it's like how fun is that? And then you don't get to watch matches.
Yep.
I mean, I want to go to wrestling to watch matches. Like,
yep.
That's the biggest thing with Dynamite, since they're on Fight TV over in the UK, and it's commercial free over there, so they can't every second they're on the air, they have to be. So if you're over in the UK when we're on commercial break, that's why the matches keep going. They don't stop.
So this is what I've been saying, though, is that WWE doesn't care about professional wrestling. They're just about the entertainment.
Yep.
So they'll do these stupid ass stories. You'll see Reggie. Reggie seems like a cool guy, but I'm already bored.
He's a circus performer. He's not a wrestler.
My point.
How many flippy flips can he do? And then it's just then Tozawa comes out being the token Asian guy, and he does something.
Now they get Drake
really
Maverick
Asian
to run after him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they only care about stuff like that, whereas AEW is legit professional wrestling.
Yep.
They're not doing these goofy backstage gimmicks. They're not doing, there's been complaints that CM Punk's just been talking the last few weeks. That is like the bulk of their non-wrestling that they do.
Yeah.
Everything else is in ring. And what I love too about it is once one match is done, there'll be celebration for the winner, and then like literally a second later the next music is hitting and we got the next match about to start.
Right.
Like it keeps you focused. That's what we liked is wrestling.
No downtime.
I loved watching Ric Flair wrestle. I loved watching Randy Savage wrestle. I don't give a crap about the behind the scenes stuff. It worked for the Attitude Era.
Sure.
It got over for the Attitude Era. Austin was brilliant at it. The Rock was brilliant at it. These people now We're just doing it to do it.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I think that's what it is. Vince is like, oh, well, I saw, Stone Cold and The Rock had no problem. It's just, but like you said, you can't, you had Stone Cold and The Rock. You don't have that anymore. You have
totally
Roman
different
Reigns.
people.
Right.
And when AEW does do a backstage segment like this week, when it was MJF versus Darby Allin in the Attack, it means more because they don't do it so often.
Right.
Like I was like, wow, that's different.
I like their sit-down interviews. They'll do that a lot.
That's good too. Yep.
I love that because it seems more genuine, seems more real. There's something about AEW where, I mean, obviously the curtain's been peeled back so many different times over the last 25 years now.
Yeah.
But there's something about AEW that gives it that real feel to it. You know what I mean?
It's like presented like almost like sports, not
yes,
like sports, but like kicked up, like to 11.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's almost, you treat it like UFC. Like obviously UFC, you're not going to have Conor McGregor like beating up somebody in the back. I mean, then again, maybe do because it's Conor McGregor.
Probably do.
It probably does.
But like
exactly.
It's also a lot of their stuff in the back is like you said, it's a sit down interview. It's not like Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott backstage being like talking, they go, so and so, blah blah blah, like pretending like there's a camera literally 4 feet from their head, and they have to pretend like it's not there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like yes, like but that's it's what it is. It's WWE thinks we're all stupid.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Whereas these camera guys walking around.
That's what they do for TV shows, though, too. I mean, you look at the actors of the TV shows, obviously the cameras, and there's like more than just the one, are all up close in their face, and they're basically talking to the camera, not to the person that they're standing next to. It's filmed like it's TV. It's actually filmed like it's TV, whereas AEW is filmed as if it's sport.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, and I've said it before, it's just even the fact, like the whole COVID, you know what I mean? Just WWE has never once mentioned like that any of their superstars had COVID, or that pretty much that COVID even exists, other than some of those like the get vaccinated commercials they were doing for a bit, which seem to just disappeared now.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like, but you look at AEW, and it's just kind of like, oh well, I forget who it was, but it was something like, even Excalibur said we were supposed to have this match, but unfortunately, so and so, COVID prevented this, or they mention it.
It was Moxley.
Yep.
Moxley.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And when Renee got contacted with it, he told them he was going to stay home, so they pushed his match back like 3 weeks or something.
Right.
So think about who runs which company. Tony Khan, who's a human.
Yep.
And Vince McMahon, who believes weakness is it's just unacceptable.
Right.
And if you have COVID, or if you say you do, or anything like that, you are considered extremely weak.
Very true.
And you are no longer to be trusted.
That's
the
true.
only exception would be Roman Reigns, because he had cancer. And I don't know how Vince feels about that, but I think that's why they never talk about COVID. They never mention, hey, so-and-so is going to be out for the next 2 weeks.
That just kind of reminded me during the Extreme Rules match with Balor and
Reigns put the mask on,
and they're fighting in the crowd, and next thing you know, Reigns got the mask on, and it's like, I mean, hey, it's I don't mind that he did it, but it's like you said, they've never mentioned it, so it's kind of like, why is he doing this? In a bubble.
Exactly.
But at the same time, if he's that worried about, like, I mean, I guess that you could always, I know they didn't.
I know where you're going with this, and I'm with you.
It's like they could have went two ways. It was either A, you don't fight in the crowd at all, or B, you could be like, I put this mask on because you're all a bunch of filthy assholes. You know what I mean? And and they didn't do either of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They should have. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, if any mask on, because you guys are all gross pigs, and I don't know what any of you
Oh,
You know,
MJF would so do that.
100%.
I could see him do that at a pay per
but
view.
MJF sucks. So
Oh no, I could still see him do that. I don't want to
I know.
get any germs from you assholes.
I saw the picture of him with the mask, and the comments on it were fantastic. Just people saying, oh, it's stupid that he's wearing the mask and all this. Okay. Shocking that what I'm about to say might be controversial, but hey, it's me, and
What?
it's a Friday night.
They're coming to get you, Tom.
Apparently, there might be a fire in my basement. Nope, it's gone. Hey, fire's out.
It's gone. No, it's gone.
That's kind of
Tom's
messed
so
up as
hot.
I was about to mention something.
It wasn't. No,
It's
there
like my
wasn't a
home
fire.
is
He
like,
just
no,
said,
you're
it's
not.
gone.
A scorching hot take.
It's the ghost of my
Tom's
house
hot
being like,
take.
stop this. But how about instead of having to put the mask on, obviously he's had cancer issues in the past, and which is why he stayed out when COVID first came around, and it's understandable. Instead of going into a situation where you have to put a mask on, how about you not go in the crowd for
Right. That was
Yeah.
part.
I knew that's where you were going.
Option A. It was just
Yep, you
don't.
should have just said, I'm
Don't
not
do
doing
it.
it.
Maybe fight in the back somewhere.
Right.
They could have
Or,
fought around ringside or up
on
the
the
rampway
stage.
or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't have to go in the crowd.
No.
And if you're going to, and he's going to put a mask on, like you said, make it part of the gimmick.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't
like
ignore it.
I don't even think they mentioned it.
No, I just don't believe so.
Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Just totally blinked over that he had it on.
Yeah. It was like it didn't exist.
I mean, or I mean, I know it's kind of hindsight's 2020, but like maybe you have him come out with the mask on first. Just a new entrance gimmick or something, and that's when you have him fight in the crowd.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, but
Mhm.
it just to just, I guess, I mean, I can't say stop and put it on because it was like 3 seconds. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just 1 minute he didn't have it on. Next time you saw him, he had it
All of a
on.
sudden it was on, right? Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just weird how, like it was just, don't do it. Like if you were that worried, just don't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Agreed.
not
Mm-hmm.
like it's just, and I think too, like fight the whole fighting in the crowd thing, as as cool as it was at one point. I don't know. To me, it's just, it never looks good. You know what I mean? Because there's always, you don't want to hit anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Like the fight AEW had this week out
Right,
in the
yeah.
crowd where who was it? Moxley punched a fan right in the face.
Archer. Yeah, it was like
That's
a little
funny.
kid. Yeah,
Oh, he nailed him too.
Uh-huh.
that little kid. Yeah, it was like
The guy with the beard that came running out in the middle while they were fighting, and he
must
just
have missed
cold
that.
clocked him right in the face.
There was him, but then there was another guy. He had a black shirt and jorts on, and he was just kind of standing there, and
Yeah.
an arm went flying
Yeah.
and just
Mhm.
nailed him right in the face.
Mhm.
But then they came back through the crowd again, like coming back this way,
Yeah.
and he's cheering and excited. So it's like, okay, there won't be a lawsuit from him.
No, the
And
kid
even
with
if
the
there is,
kid
they'll
was
point
when
that
they
out.
were they did with the table spot.
Yes.
right.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the ladder spot right at and the guy's grabbing his kid back. I'm like, oh god, it's
Yeah.
not good. Like do it somewhere else. You could have picked a different spot. You saw the little kid there. Come on.
They're totally just at some point they're just gonna hurt somebody.
I just remember the time that Terry Funk came down with the flaming branding iron. That's
Mhm.
all. It just reminded me a lot of that. And I was like, little kid.
Well, they did it in ECW all the time. People were getting
Oh, yeah.
body slammed, punched, thrown into the walls. It was like wild
Give
at
him a
those
free
shows.
T-shirt.
Random story.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think I can't remember, Tom. I think it might have been the time I saw you and Jason at the Tewksbury Country Club show.
Okay.
I think it was that, and one of the matches was Jason Rumble versus Mike McCarthy,
They were there.
and there was this little kid running around ringside, and I'm like, this kid's gonna get hurt. And sure, the kid's running around ringside, and Mike McCarthy spots him and just Jason Rumble right out the ring. Lands on this kid, pancakes him. Kid just immediately starts crying. Rumble literally stops selling. It's just like starts to check on this kid. And come to find out later in the thing, I had a buddy that worked that show too, that McCarthy legitimately did that just because the kid wouldn't, you know what I mean?
I'm sure he did.
I guess Jay was pissed because Jay was like, that wasn't part of the match.
Yep.
And Mike was like, I blacked out or I blanked out or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like I spaced out wrong spot or whatever it was. But you could see it because I was like sitting right there. You could just see McCarthy just knew where that kid was going and just chucked Rumble right into this small child and just mangled him.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And then Rich Palladino had to get on the mic and was like, ladies and gentlemen, please put your kids in the seats. You know, it was just... He just wrecked some little kid.
Like when they do it in Japan and the ring announcer comes on and goes, danger, danger, wrestlers in the crowd, danger, danger, get away. And it's like, what?
You said you had MLW news?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are we all done with WWE stuff?
Well, I have one more thing. Since the WWE has to deal with Fox and they're all pissed off about how they have to plug Peacock and that all the time because they have their own service, Tubi TV. I guess MLW had an agreement, so it kind of works together, had an agreement with Tubi to go onto their service to stream their stuff. WWE has decided to step in and get involved and say, well, we work with you. We don't want you working with MLW. So right now they don't know for sure if they're going to be able to be put on Tubi because WWE got involved.
But now, so it's like they don't even know if they're going to do it. But at the same time, what does it matter if you have a rival promotion?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you're still getting your money. You know,
it's not like they're putting anything on Tubi.
Right. You don't get paid. You don't get paid per stream or per watch.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you just get that bulk deal. That the money up front.
Yep.
So who cares what if they put MLW? It's not like you know what I mean. Like it's WWE's on Peacock. They didn't get all pissy when the Olympics were on there. You know what I mean? I know it's not the same. It's not the same thing, but it's. You know what I mean? There's other stuff out there. There's more content than just WWE.
Right.
And I feel like just once again, they're just you know what I mean? Like they step in not even knowing if they're going to put content on there just in case.
Yep.
And then you just screw over this other company that
they had a deal in place too.
Right. So it's just that's like WWE is just making it so hard
to like them.
Just to like them. Yeah.
Yep.
It
really is.
So, okay. And I'm glad you said that because I have this debate with my buddy almost daily, literally almost daily. And he thinks that because the WWE is making all this money, that they're still wildly successful. And it's not the money because they're getting money from Fox, they're getting money from Universal, they're getting money from the Saudi Arabians.
Yep.
So that's where that's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
They're so unlikable. They're just hateable.
Yep.
Like they've become that asshole in college, that was the guy that everybody wanted to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? Like that big popular kid.
Yep.
They become that.
And then he crashes in your dorm room and he like bangs your girlfriend and like scratches his ass and stuff. Like why? Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Takes off. Yep.
And then
I wasn't going to go that far, but all right, let's dive into this. Who hurt you?
Might just go all the way.
But yeah, it's just they're just very unlikable.
Yeah.
And it's literally the only reason I put it on now is because A, we talk about it every Friday.
Right.
And B, it's habit. It's old hat. Like
yes.
like I guarantee you right now, if I walk in that room, I'm sure someone's watching SmackDown on that TV. But it's it's not. Just because it's what I've done for friggin' 15 years or whatever it is, 20 years.
So I want to point something out too. So I just flipped over real quick to because it's a pitching change. So I just flipped over real quick, and the Bloodline's coming out. This is their top storyline. And they did a pan to the crowd, and you could actually see the majority of the people are sitting down. There's a lot of fan reaction, but it's funny. You see in AEW, even on the who gives a crap matches. And let's be honest, you have a roster that big, you're going to have a lot of who gives a crap matches.
Oh, yeah.
Fans are on their feet. Fans are cheering. Fans are animated. And it's not just the first few rows. You could actually see the entire crowd is involved. It reminds me of what ECW was back in the day, the original ECW,
right?
Where now you see this, and I love watching, and I say that in a sarcastic way, because you'll watch a WWE match, and everyone's just sitting on their hands. Nobody really cares, and yet the crowd seems so loud, but not a soul is making any noise.
Oh yeah, once they discovered that you can do the piped in crowd noise like a video game when they didn't have any audience. They would just say, "Oh yeah,"
because people are just here as extras. That's all they are now.
Like even the NXT, like you know what I mean. Like you can hear a pin drop in there sometimes, and you hear that steady rumble, and it's like there's not enough people in that place to make that kind of noise, and two, it's nobody's moving, everybody's sitting on their hands. It kind of reminds me of it's kind of, we were talking about earlier, as much as I hated the Jericho and Lambert segment, when the crowd was just drowning out Lambert, he was just
singing the song. Yep.
Dying. No, even after that, when they were just booing him.
Yeah. I'm saying both ways. Yeah.
And it's when was the last time that happened in a WWE ring? Was probably what I could think of as maybe when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker the night after WrestleMania, when he just came in and sat in the ring for like 10 minutes while the crowd just booed him.
Probably.
That was the last.
That's about right. Yeah, it sounds about right.
4 or 5 years ago at this point.
Yep. Long while ago.
No, that's one thing. It's just, as much as people just AEW's the minor leagues or whatever, and WWE is always the end game big leagues, blah blah blah. It's like you don't see, like, the fans that want to be at AEW, they want to be there. Where I feel like the WWE fans, it's like, yeah, they I'm sure there's some that want to be there.
Sure.
But how many of those people are just like, oh, we want tickets on the radio or whatever. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like sometimes it's WWE's just like, but once again, it just goes back to those stories. It's like, nobody's going to care if they're not invested.
I'll say this, and this will be my own personal experience on this. I haven't marked out about going to a wrestling show, I think, since around the EWA days. And that was an ECW show that I was so pumped to go to. I haven't been this excited to go to a show, and I'm talking about going to AEW at the Agganis Arena.
Yep.
I haven't been this freaking excited in 2 decades about.
Am I the only one not going to that?
I think so. Well, Russ can't because he's in California, but
right.
That's besides the point.
I thought you were going.
Nah, I just decided to stay home.
Did you go the last time they were here?
Nope.
No?
It's
I was
weird.
Just curious.
I don't know. I mean, it, like, just the whole TV wrestling thing just kind of, I mean, I guess it's different. Like you said, AEW, they're always constantly going and stuff, but also it's now it's like, 2 hours of Dynamite, and then they tape Rampage, and it's just, I don't want to be there till midnight or whatever it is. And I'm just too old and grumpy, I think, just to stay out that late.
we know you don't like long shows.
I don't.
I want to see what the atmosphere is. I want to see what it's Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be wild. And it's
I
a
wanna be
small
part of
place. It's
that.
like 5,500 seats or something like
Right.
that.
I loved being at ECW shows when the crowd was chanting ECW. There was something
Mhm.
about
Oh,
that
yeah.
that just,
Yep.
you know, you could say you were part of that.
Mhm.
Being at a World Series game, hearing that pop, being at the at the Mankind Mick Foley title win,
Yep.
that pop. Like, I am so pumped to be part of this crowd.
Hmm.
I can't wait. I may bring a sign that says Bob Evans sucks.
Nice. And I'll bring.
King Kong. See if that makes it on TV.
So was I the only one that went to the first show in Boston then?
I did not go to it.
Jill,
Yeah.
did you go?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, I was trying to see. Yeah. I mean,
think-
the crowd was excited for it, but the problem was it was their second ever show. And most of the people didn't know who half the people were. That was the only issue with it, you know,
Right.
like Darby Allin came out and they're like, who's this guy? I mean, they knew Jericho, they knew Moxley, stuff like, but you know, this time around where they know everybody, that's going to be such a different crowd than the first time. Totally different.
I got to point this out too. Because they've rescheduled this twice.
Yep. This
and
is the third
both
reschedule.
times, this roster is so much different now than it was the first time or
That
even
is
the
nuts.
second time.
It was supposed to be April of last year.
We're going to get to see CM Punk,
Mm-hmm.
who the last time I was at a WWE show, it was down in Providence. I was taking my little cousin to his first wrestling show.
Yep.
And Punk was supposed to be there, but that was when he had that issue with his back, so he never showed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
That was leading up to the Royal Rumble where he
Right.
quit. Where that was it.
Yep.
So I haven't seen CM Punk in a ring in like a decade, I think.
Probably, yeah.
I think the last time I saw Punk was
I can't even remember.
what was it, Night of Champions? I want to say maybe 2013 when he was the champ. And he wrestled Cena and it was some weird
Garden?
Yeah.
That was probably the last time I saw him.
Punk came out, he was wearing New York Yankees
Yeah.
pinstripe
Right.
tights.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was it? They did the old school like 1980s the double German suplex. Both
Exactly,
the shoulders were down gimmick.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was the last time I saw him as well. Been a long time.
By the way, for the people watching, I realize I completely just marked out. So whatever. Have your fun with that.
It's okay. We'll record some stuff while we're there for the pod.
I was thinking that too, because Rick, I thought you were coming. So I was like, oh my God, we could all like find a spot to get together during like some of the dark tapings and do like a quick, even like a quick live pod.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Everyone.
Old man Rick doesn't like to go out anymore.
Nope.
This has been part 3 of Through the Table podcast number 19.